Hello and welcome to this month's edition of Ask Me Anything. The topic, the fastest way for your company to grow is to match what you do to what prospects want to buy. Yeah, easy, right? Easier said than done, at least. Well, I'm going to start with the one basic truth, and then I'm going to pepper some actionable items on top. The first point packs the most punch. We're just going to go right there. There's a myth about sales and marketing, that sales and marketing is the primary force in creating customer demand, but it's not. The reality is the biggest ideas, products, and services tap into customer demand that already exists. So you can have a cool product. It could be the best, but if there is no demand for it, what the hell is the point? So here's the big basic truth that I'm going to layer on top of how to do it, where to do it, and some tips for doing it. The basic truth, align with existing demand. How? We're going to do this using the theory of waves. How many people have heard about the theory of waves? All right, we've got one or two. So this is going to be new content for you. And remember, as always, I'm going to give you the notes, give you a handout, give you all the Zoom link, all the links that I'm going to reference and the data that I'm going to reference. Hello to everyone who just joined me. We're talking about using the theory of market waves. And the point is aligning your products and services with existing demands. If you're not on mute, please do that for me now. That would be great. Thank you. Using the theory of market waves. So the theory of market waves is to ride the wave. What's the demand? Ride the wave. Pretty simple. Your customer already has demand in certain areas. Go to where people are already buying. You don't have to be 100% unique. We all think we have to know our unique selling proposition. We do, but you don't have to be some brand new product or service. Let's say we've got coaches and consultants out there, lawyers. Nothing new there. There are unique things about you, but nothing really new about your product or service. So go to where people are already buying what you have to offer. Attempting to create demand is a failure strategy. That's right, making demand up. Have you always wanted to hire a consultant who does business dev? No, business development consultants have been around forever. Attempting to create demand is a failure strategy. So find your place on the wave. That's your unique positioning, and ride the wave. Sometimes you find a demand wave no one is surfing. So I'm going to tell you one right now that I'm riding, just getting on top of, creating a storm around the leather community. Leather and LGBTQ+ is a new incubator program I'm running for the city of San Francisco. The leather community is a voting contingency that California wants. The leather community. Remember when LGBTQ was all the rage? The leather community is all the rage. If you have a product or service, if you want to accommodate the leather community, guess who the leather community is? Me. Doctors, lawyers, electricians, consultants, nurses, teachers, moms. Everyone is the leather community, and that's a bipartisan topic. They want that vote. There's a brand new wave I am riding. I am surfing. I'm getting way out ahead of that wave. Sometimes you find you paddle out to the wave and all of a sudden it's there and you can't really get up if you're surfing the wave. Well, that's not the wave for you. You go farther out beyond it. And that's where you catch the wave, not when it's hitting the shore and crashing. That's LGBTQ+. Already crashed. Everybody knows they have to, that's that DEI component, diversity, equity, inclusion. Everyone knows they need to be targeting that market. But the leather community, how many people have decided to target the leather community? I have. How many people want to? I'll give you the tips. Anyway, back to the theory of market waves. So you paddle out to meet the wave before it comes in, not after the wave has hit the shore. And this is a piece to remember that I'm going to tap on in the next piece, which is where, but I'm just finishing the how. Using the theory of market waves is the how. And the last piece of it is waves come in sets. So if you miss the first one, catch the next one. So there's a couple of waves that are already turbulent. The market has had a storm, pandemic, right? What are the waves that have resulted from this storm? They're just swelling. They're just coming to shore. Ride them, catch one of them. If you missed one of the first ones, and I'm going to talk with you about the 5 largest right in our area, catch the next one. Waves come in batches, in sets. If you miss the first one, catch the next one. So that's the how. Use the theory of market waves and align with existing demand. What do they want to buy? Sometimes it's just changing your product and service so that it's attached to the sectors that are spending the most money and growing. So let's talk about the where. The top 5 San Francisco tech sectors to watch in 2022 are what I'm going to share with you. Now, there are lots of sectors to watch in 2022. I've chosen tech because, and you've heard me say this before, if you aren't paying attention to the technology, just log out right now. Every single sector is founded in technology use. All of them. I don't care what your sector is and what customers you're talking to. If you're behind the technology curve, I got nothing for you. The little waves have already crashed. The bubbles are receding. It's going back into the ocean. Over. Use technology. The use of technology is behind every single sector now. So let's talk about the 5 San Francisco tech sectors that happen to be global, happen to be national, happen to be statewide, but these particular examples I'm going to give you are right here. They're waves waiting for you. So when I cover these 5, think about your product and service and how you may alter what you already do to help them. Not how do I create a whole new product? How do you take what you already do, my business attorney, Lori? How do you take what you already do? Shannon does placemaking and signage. These are the sectors that want you anyway. Adam, right? Belle, Garrett. I know I could go through all of you. Okay, the first one, HR tech. This year, companies across the United States and around the world continue to seek out virtual solutions to adopt to the new normal of remote work. HR teams specifically sought out new ways to recruit and onboard new employees. Lots of HR tech platforms, and a handful which are headquartered in the Bay Area, raised massive amounts of capital as a result. Checker is one of them, for example. That Checker leverages its proprietary AI to process employee background checks for a number of tech giants, including Lyft, Instacart, Netflix, Airbnb. In September, the unicorn, Checker, grabbed $250 million in Series E round that sent its valuation skyrocketing to a whopping $4.6 billion. Holy cow. The source for that information is built in SF. It's a URL, built in SF. What are these tech giants? What are these new waves, storms building right here in SF? Go to the website, built in SF, follow it. I look every single week. Piece of cake. Again, I'll give you all of these URLs, so no worries about writing it down. But HR tech, what do you do for ancillary products and services that support the HR community? How about fintech? Financial technology. The shift to online banking started long before the pandemic, but over the last 2 years, that shift has rapidly accelerated. As a result, fintech companies, big and small, continue to raise massive amounts of capital in order to fuel the expansion of their digital banking services. Do you offer digital banking payment plans for your clients? Or do they all have to send you a check? Or do they all do ACH? Or they do what are we doing here? Someone, I gathered money for something recently, and one of the people who was supposed to be gathering the money said, yeah, I don't have any technology in place. You're gonna have to just send me a check. And I listed 7 of mine. And almost everyone in this group went, you take payments from all of them? Yes, I do. I make it as easy as possible for people to give me their money. Fintech is a huge, huge sector. How can you serve them? And how can you use what they're doing to serve your clients? In August, the Decacorn, Chime raised over $1 billion in funding. They grabbed another $750 million in funding by Sequoia. Sequoia is a VC venture capitalist firm right in our area. Are you putting Sequoia, tagging them in your online posts? I am. Sequoia knows just who I am. When they have a new startup and someone who needs what I do, can you come in and lead that incubator discussion? Yes, I can. Thank you very much. Here's my fee. What are you doing that supports both the people funding the Decacorns, the fintech sector, and how are you allowing your clients to pay you along the way? Fintech is just one that I happen to love, and I'm going to cover one more piece of fintech in a minute. But first, let me finish the other three. HR tech was the first one. Fintech was the second one. Health tech is another one. This one might come as a shocker, but the health tech sector has seen a huge uptick in growth over the course of the pandemic. Not just people going into hospitals, the whole health tech sector across the country, around the world, have rushed to further digitize their health services in order to deal with a much larger pool of patients who can't come in, as well as those who do come in. This has no doubt led to the speedy growth of health tech startups. All over the place, there are companies out there who need new websites, who need easy signage, who need business plans and agreements, who need workflow strategies, who need lots of pieces to support their business growth. Health tech is a huge sector right here in San Francisco area, Bay Area, but beyond, if you work beyond this area, that is growing and needs your support. Prop tech is another one. This one surprised me. Property tech. Prop tech, like other realtors, they often or realtors like other sectors, oftentimes have to work with multiple parties in order to go into escrow. The constraints of the pandemic have made this process a bit slower, but luckily a bevy of Bay Area prop tech, why can't I say prop tech? Prop tech startups are popping up to help speed things along. So prop tech is one of those big ones. Talk about a violent storm making waves. How many people are riding prop tech? Do you know how many sectors come together? How many disparate types of service providers come together to sell a home and to relocate someone? Sadly, I now do myself. We're not going to go on to that tangent. But the last one is logistics. In-person shopping opportunities have continued to shrink over the last 2 years. We know this. Many small businesses have struggled to bounce back following almost 2 years of quarantine measures and lockdown procedures. As a result, consumers continued to turn to online retailers in order to have their needs met. We know this. How many people are now ordering online instead of going out in person? I was a junkie in advance, but we're doing it more and more and more. Exactly. As a result, consumers continue to turn to online retailers, and the increasing popularity of online shopping has unfortunately led to supply chain issues in the US and abroad. So how do you get involved with the logistics community? What do your products and services do to help alleviate some of that problem out there that is backlogged? And how can you make it easier for these companies that are not necessarily stagnant? Some of them are going out of business because of the logistical problems or because of the pandemic's effects. Logistics is one of those sectors that has stormed and is making huge amounts of waves. So how do you attach to the sectors most affected? How can you help them stay in business? That's the logistics sector. So those 5 are the ones that are the top tech sectors to watch in 2022. But let's talk about the tips on how to use this information that I gave you, because a complete list of Decacorn companies I'm going to include in the handout. How many people know what Decacorn companies are? All right, so thank you, pal. We know what unicorn companies are, right? Good. So Decacorn companies are companies that have 10 times or is it 100, 10 times, they go from startup to over 10 billion in size immediately. So a startup company sometimes can have a very, very rapid growth pattern. A unicorn is someone that goes to $1 billion very quickly. That's a unicorn. Amazingly successful startup. They got out way ahead of the wave. Not only did they ride it, they created the wave and they made all the money. And now other companies are trying to latch on with their unique service offering to that revenue generation wave. Well, decacorns are 10 billion in size. So there's a list of, I'm going to give it to you, the exploding decacorn market. They're only 5% of startups. It's very, very small. And a couple of them I want to point out in particular. I'm going to give you it's explodingtopics.com. This is another one you should follow every single week so that you see the wave way in advance, explodingtopics.com. And you can say, oh my gosh, that's perfect for me. And how do I attach to it? Well, there are a couple of ways. Follow the decacorns, but one of the examples I want to use so you can get an idea on how to scale it to you, since there are so many disparate service providers in this room, is an example of ByteDance. How many people know ByteDance as a company? 2, 3, okay, a couple of you. So ByteDance is a mobile app developer. The startup's product portfolio includes 8 apps, mostly related to social media and content discovery. But here's the one that you'll know that they own, TikTok. TikTok alone has 689 million monthly active users. You want to be in front of 700 million active monthly users? Yeah, you got to do those silly little videos. How many times do you have to do that? Not a whole lot, because some of the people out there are actively searching TikTok because that's where they want to play. Younger, spending money, riding the waves of their own, looking for the service providers that offer all those payment terms, offer all the kinds of business services they care about, offer all of the products and services they need to stay at home and continue through the property tech, HR tech, health tech, logistics nightmares that are happening out there right now. How are you going to serve those people? Well, 689 million of them are on TikTok. Easy, simple, free platform for you to be on. ByteDance revenue reached $37 billion in 2020. They doubled over 1 year time. They doubled. So are you paying attention to what ByteDance is doing? TikTok is one of them. Duvin is another one. Duvin is powered by easy to use video creation tools. Remember I just talked about getting on TikTok? Well, use your phone. I don't care. Start wherever you want. Have you seen my YouTube channel with these Ask Me Anythings? It's terrible. I make mistakes all the time. I don't care. I need to be the human being in the world. They're out on YouTube. Works for me. Make it simple. But some of your clients, some of your products and services, they can't be homegrown and organic like mine. I can be a human being in this moment. I answer only to me. Some of you have real companies that have different needs, and using video creation tools, easy video creation tools. Now you're on TikTok using Duvin to put your videos out there. How are you going to stand out even further to those people? Here's the third one in that little wave, Lark. How many people have heard of Lark? So thank you. Woohoo! All right. ByteDance also owns Lark. Lark is currently available in Japan and Singapore. Is Yvonne here? My Japan? Nope. It's all right, Yvonne. When you're watching this video, hello. So Yvonne works almost specifically in Japan. She's with us usually every month. Lark combines a multitude of essential collaboration tools in a single interconnected platform, including chat, calendar, content creation, cloud storage, app management. Think Slack on steroids. Well, Lark makes it easy to stay in sync and access these tools from one to the next. Well, Yvonne teaches how to use Microsoft Word, how to use, not Word, Microsoft Suite, and she teaches how to do, no, not Word Suite, what's the one, Microsoft Meetings? No, what's it called? Unmute yourself, Kelly. I hear you trying to tell me. Teams, that's it. And
Teams.
it's really, thank you. It's really hard for some of their clients to use this. So they pay her ridiculous amounts of money to teach her teams. Are you speaking? Are you teaching? Are you leading? Are you helping someone as a consultant, as a contractor? Lark is one of those ways to stay in sync and access tools from anywhere in the world that is taking over. So this bite dance storm, making wave after wave after wave, TikTok, Douyin, Lark, add 8 more, waiting for you to look at and spend time with. Discover where you can attach your products and services to their needs. Are they interested in an estate plan because they just came into money? Yep, Michael, that's exactly right. Lots of the younger generation, I'm 60 and only just doing my estate plan. I'm embarrassed to say it out loud, but again, I'm that authentic person. Do you know how many kids 22 to 45, my son falls in that category, are doing their estate plans now? Blows me away. All right, every single sector can ride one of these waves, look at the storm, and sit there for a few minutes. Follow explodingtopics.com. You don't have to come up with a brainstorm in the first week you review this, but watch it every single week, and all of a sudden you go, oh, got it, insurance. Everybody in that sector needs to have the kind of insurance I sell. Insurance, nothing new there. Everybody has to have insurance. Everybody knows insurance. Do you want to meet with me? I'm an insurance for no, I don't. Oh, that's how you uniquely stand out? Oh, that's the sector that I'm in, that's growing, that's burgeoning, that's challenging, that needs to have an insurance provider that I'm not paying attention to. Thank you. Yes, I do want to meet. All of a sudden, it becomes easy to attach your products and services to what they want to buy. That is the theory, using the theory of market waves and aligning with existing demand. Now, the last piece, this piece about Stripe. Stripe is one of those decacorns. We've heard about Stripe. I don't even have to say, raise your hand. Everybody knows Stripe. It's been around for a while, but now it's a decacorn. Now it's huge. Stripe develops online payment processing software with growth in e-commerce. Overall, Stripe payment processing volume has increased 7 times, $350 billion in 2020 alone because of the pandemic. So how do we add Stripe to our payment terms? Now, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, that's all personal consumer stuff. What about professional payments? Stripe, what products and services are you going to be able, what clients are you going to be able to capture when you all of a sudden offer Stripe? Big deal. Just promoting it means Stripe is also going to promote you as a Stripe user. Now you've got someone else bragging about you. Huge way to leverage it. Here's my favorite one. I put this in orange in my notes. So I remember to say, calm down, say this one slowly. This one is my favorite. It's called Klarna, K-L-A-R-N-A, Klarna. It's a fintech company that offers a buy now, pay later service. Klarna's platform processed $53 billion from 87 million shoppers in gross merchandise volume last year. That's 46% year-over-year growth. Klarna, I hadn't even heard of it. The buy now, pay later app that I use is Affirm. How many people have heard of Affirm? I bought my Peloton with Affirm. Free. I could buy it with no interest for the whole year. I paid off my Peloton in a year. Done. Thank you. Did I have the $3,000 to buy my Peloton? Yeah, I did. I was all ready to just buy it. But they said, here's a free interest loan. And I went, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I don't know where the pandemic's going. Thanks. I still paid it off in a year and didn't have any interest. But now I'm an Affirm lover. So I'm also going to give you in the handout the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 best buy now, pay later apps. Klarna is one of them. Affirm is one of them. Afterpay, Split It, PerPay. There are a number of them. But here's where I'm going with it. You have a large ticket item that you sell that someone might not be able to afford. Offer it with a buy now, pay later. Guess who pays that fee for them? The company who you're partnering with. I work with a company over and over again. I'm not going to say their name, even though they're not here today. That costs my clients about $150,000 a year. It's $10,000 a month to start with this company, minimum, period. Do you know how many of my clients go, yeah, okay, let me wait until I hit that milestone and then I'll start. No, you're not going to hit that milestone unless you start. So I've started to work with a firm in Klarna who does the buy now, pay later for my clients. Now this big 6-figure plus $100,000 cost that my client has to incur to work with me and hit their business development goals, they can have funded for them. So by the time they get there, yeah, I own my Peloton. I didn't pay any interest. Thank you. So what kind of product and service are you offering that's big, hairy, juicy fee that someone may not be able to afford? Buy now, pay later apps of 2022. I'm going to put in there in your handout. I want to bring this home by saying that trust is key. I'm not talking about hype. I'm not talking about doing all of these things. I'm talking about doing your homework and looking at the individual pieces that I've put out here and taking time to sit with it and say, how can I attach what I do to what the waves are? Where's the storm that's brewing up the waves so I can get out ahead of them and ride them? Where are the waves that are already coming? One has broken, decacorns, unicorns, and now another wave is coming. Remember, they come in sets. Or maybe you just have a little piece of a product or service that makes you a ton of money really easily. That's in that foam that crashed on the shore. Let someone else ride that wave and make it crash. And you're going to be that little bubble that comes up from the sand. You know, those crabs, never mind. I don't have this analogy worked out well enough. Thank you for smiling. There are places to ride that wave from exactly where you are. The fastest way for your company to grow is to match what you do to what prospects want to buy. How? Use the theory of market waves. Where? Start with the top San Francisco tech sectors to watch. In 2022, you're already out ahead of it, and make it an extraordinary 2022.